Hi, Brian. This chapter is kind of fun, actually. It relies on some of fundamental marketing principles from lower level marketing courses. And it's all about customer relationship management and how that can be augmented by use of the internet. So the chapter starts out with the question of which is more important, customer acquisition or customer retention, and that's an easy one. It's customer retention. The Japanese found that out in the 1970s in the automobile industry, and they had a reputation, of course, in the 60s and 70s for building cheap, crappy cars. But what they found out that it was cheaper to build a good car and keep that customer happy because they're more likely to buy a new car from you. So complementary studies indicated that it was 5 times cheaper to keep a customer than it was to get a new one. And there's a lot of lots and lots of figures around the matter. Your standard company loses as much as 30 of its customers per year for different reasons. That's referred to churn or turnover. And within 5 years, most companies have lost as many as half of their customers. Excuse me. So reducing defections 5% can increase profits 25 to 80%. 90% of your customers who are unhappy will leave. If you can correct the problem, somebody who has had a problem will very likely become one of your most loyal customers. So everything supports the concept of creating satisfied customers through good customer relationship management. CLV is customer lifetime value, and what other studies have shown is that if a customer is happy and they stick around, they have all kinds of attributes that benefit the company. They will tell other people, so it makes your advertising literally cheaper. And of course, one of the best ways to promote your company is positive word of mouth, and one of the biggest ways to hurt you is negative word of mouth. Loyal customers are more likely to buy more of your product. They are less susceptible to ads from competition. They're less price sensitive, so if you raise prices, a loyal customer, as long as it's within reason, will still be a loyal customer. So what is CRM, customer relationship management, or customer relationship marketing? Fundamentally, there are 3 elements to it. Your fundamental strategy, the operations of how you run your company. That would be employee attitude, policies and procedures. And then the analytics, which is the information that you gather around your customers and how do you utilize that to modify operations, customer interface interaction, product availability, etc. And why did traditional mass media marketers find customer relationship management, or CRM, difficult? Well, it's in their name, actually. Mass media marketing means you're basically trying to sell to the masses, and that sounds good in principle, and for some products it works. It works for razor blades and toothbrushes and things like that, where there's not a lot of differentiation, although there is. But for other products where you use segmentation techniques that are more sophisticated than making a toothbrush simply soft, medium, or hard in nature, you can create a more intimate relationship with the customer at the individual level, and interact with them and solve all different kinds of problems that can't be done around a mass marketed product like a razor blade. So good CRM is like a stool with three legs. You have your Salesforce automation, the marketing, and the customer service, and they would all interact together to produce an optimum offering or situation. Even simple personalization can bring in significant what they call lift results, and lift is how many people, as a consequence of your promotions or your efforts, will be moved from potential customers to actual customers. Maybe you get 100 new customers a month by doing nothing, just being there, but you decide to have a promotion of some kind or another. It could be something very simple like putting up a sign, or it could be something more sophisticated that would involve database management and a promotional effort, or putting up social networking presence. All of those could produce lift, which would be the difference between their impact and doing nothing at all. Now, one of the things I believe, well, we talked about it in another class actually, but one of the things that is of interest is the concept of personas, which is taking information that you have. You either buy that information from the outside, and you could do that for like Facebook groups. You can put your own site up and watch it and analyze it, but more likely you hire a consultant with analytical capabilities to take a look at it and answer questions around those groups that represent potential customers of yours, and what changes in your operations, product offerings, etc. that you might consider. A really good place to look at personas, if I haven't already told you this, is a site called VALS, V-A-L-S. Take the VAL survey. That's been around for a long time, a long marketing tool. Another one is PRIZM, P-R-I-Z-M. Take a look at that. It's a geodemographic, whereas the VALS is a psychographic. But in both cases, they develop profiles of groups. As far as internet marketing, it's interesting. Obama found this out when he ran for president. He did a lot of work with a lot of promotions via emails to try to motivate, especially groups that hadn't previously been motivated. And email represented a really good, cost-effective way to connect with them. And they did a lot of testing around things like salutations, colors, etc., and demonstrated that such nuances can create significant differences in response rates. And what you want to do is you want to be constantly testing those kinds of things. And so in this particular instance, it doesn't tell us what the changes were that they made from one email to another, but they tested them, and each of these have different opening rates, click-through rates, and conversion rates. But what you really are looking for at the end of the day is the conversion rate. And so even though cell 3 had a better opening rate, cell 1 was far more successful with its conversion rate, which is the conversion rate is how many people actually acted on it and did something. You made a believer out of them or a customer. So there are different types of personalization. One could be in an email, just simply put their name on it. You can do user-controlled, information-driven. You have different things that signify different attributes about that person. And so you could address them by name, or you could address them as gun owner, or somebody based on information, again, that you've gathered through monitoring Facebook or Twitter or whatever. You could say horse owner, hobbyist, whatever. And the more of that you can do to personalize it, the better connection you can make with your prospective customer. Of course, apps are increasingly important in being able to construct profiles of people, because again, they provide valuable information about what that person is actually interested in. So social customer relationship management at the end of the day improves experience, and that's what you want to do. You want to provide a better, more personable experience with your customer that would make them feel special and would want to bring them back and remain loyal to you. So, what is this chapter about? Well, I said earlier that retention is more profitable than acquisition, and customer lifetime value is what's key in that. Using the internet to enhance customer relationship management is customer focused and generally data driven. The communications are built around the customer life cycle, that being you connect with them, you have communication with them, you provide the service, you follow up. That's the whole life cycle of a customer. Opportunities from deep data creates deeper relationships. And as far as personalization goes, there are different rules that your text talks about for considering or following in personalization, and different models that you can construct. Apps are very important in constructing loyalty programs and enhancing the whole customer relationship management experience. Finally, the customer relationship management isn't creating that experience can be really expensive and prone to failure for a number of different reasons. Poorly trained people, not consistent follow through, not doing it long enough. Maybe you run out of money to actualize it. There can be all kinds of different reasons. You got to be committed though when you get into it, and it requires organizational discipline and commitment, which is what I just said.